It is Kitty from Kitty's Audiophile Record Reviews. Thank you very much for viewing my channel. As always, those of you who are new to my channel, please like and subscribe. Always helps small channels like mine grow a little bit. I appreciate that. This video, I might give 3 album recommendations, mostly in the jazz realm. One might borderline a little bit on a pop style, the first one I should say, but it's mostly jazz, has a jazz style. And it's from Brazilian piano player, keyboard player, and singer. The first one anyway. From Concord Jazz Records. This record was issued in 1981. Tania Maria. I believe you pronounce that piquant, but I could be wrong. So if I'm mispronouncing it, I apologize. But like I said, this was issued in 1981 on Concord Jazz Records. This was produced by Cal Jader. I'll show you the label of the record. I bought this record when it came out in 1981, as soon as it was released, and it's been in my collection ever since. I think I have a second copy as well. Show you a close-up of her picture. In 1981, I was 21 years old, and when I saw this picture of her on the cover, at the time I thought she was about the same age as me, if anything a little bit younger. But as it turns out, Tania Maria is approximately 11 or 12 years older than me. I guess she just looked young for her age in the picture. And also I learned her first record, I think, came out around 1966. This is available on YouTube. I listened to it a little briefly and said to myself, I got to get that album, man, because that album sounds pretty tight. But yeah, it's issued in 1981. She has a very, first of all, she's a great piano player. And she has a very nice singing voice. She can, a very nice scat singing style at times as well. There's a song on here called Yatrata. I'll show you the song listing. And a song on here called Yatrata, where it displays her scat singing style and her piano playing style fabulously. And her performance on that song is actually excellent. There's another, her rendition of the song, It's Not For Me To Say, is actually quite good as well. A nice jazz performance on that song. But I think 2 of the best songs on here are on side 2. One called Lemon, I'll probably mispronounce this, I'm sorry. Lemon Kiwaka. And the next song after that on song 2 is called Super Happy. Those are great songs that you should listen to if you listen to this on YouTube. So I recommend listening to Lemon Kiwaka on side 1, on side 2, Super Happy on side 2, and on side 1, Yatrata. But like I said, this is a very nice performance by Tania Maria, and that made me a fan of hers. This is, from what I understand, I think it says on the back here, this is a U.S. Debut album. But like I said, I remember this vividly, buying this when it first came out in 1981 when I was 21 years old. A nice performance of Tania Maria on this album called Piquant. Like I said, I'm probably mispronouncing the name of the album. In terms of sound and performance, I give them both solid 8s. It sounds good, and her performance is quite good on this album. But check it out on YouTube. The performers on this album are Tania Maria vocals and piano, Eddie Duran guitar, Rob Fisher bass, Vince Latiano drums and percussion, Willie T. Colon percussion as well. Tania Maria, Piquant. Nice album to listen to. I'm going to quickly show you the Tania Maria albums I have. It's not many. It's like, I have 4 more. This is her Lady from Brazil album. And it says a concert ticket in the cover, inside the shrink wrap. This is from a jazz concert at the Queen Mary Jazz Festival in 1988. Sponsored by the radio station, the jazz station KKGO. If you lived out in the greater LA area, you're a jazz fan, you listen to KKGO. Before that, I think it was called KBCA, I think. There's another album, it's called Come With Me. Tania Maria, Made New York. And the last one, Tania Maria, Brazil, With My Soul. The next album I'm going to recommend, at least you listen to on YouTube. With all the music I suggest on my channel, you should always listen to it on YouTube first. This is going to be a very short recommendation, just like the one after this one. So from an artist, a saxophone player, and he's sang too, Mauricio Santos. Opus 3, number 1. And this is an interesting album. I bought this when it first came out too, around 1979. That was right in between high school and college when I bought that record. My freshman year of college was in 1979. My last year of high school was 1979. But this was an interesting record because I recall buying this at the record store, and it said on the back of the record that about 7 compositions were recorded. Although this was issued in 1979, about 6 or 7 compositions or songs were recorded in 1968, and a lot of them featured him singing. And the remaining were recorded in 1978. But the songs on this album, to get a style and flavor, at least of a singing style, he's not a great singer, but he sounds good. He's one of those type of singers. There's a song on here, Make Mine Blue, which he sings. The Wind is Rising, which he has, he's backed by backup vocals. And Off and On, those are really great songs to listen to get a vibe, a groove of his style of singing. Also, his saxophone playing is displayed quite well on this 1979 release of Mauricio Santos. I'm probably mispronouncing his name. If I am, I'm sorry. But this album has been in my collection. And it's the only album that I have of this great artist at this time while I considering buying more. He has a song called Kathy. Mauricio Santos is called Kathy. And all he says is Kathy during the vocal performance of the song, at least the backup singers. But I love the vibe and groove of this song called Kathy. You can find that on YouTube. This is a song called Kathy by Mauricio Santos. Because like I said, I like the vibe and groove of that song. I really do. But check this out. Mauricio Santos, Opus 3, number 1. And check out the vocal performances on this song. Like I said, I'm going to repeat again. Make Mine Blue, The Wind is Rising, Off and On. You should check out those vocal performances on Mauricio Santos on this 1979 album. And like I said, some of the compositions, these half were recorded in 1968. And another, about 3 of them were recorded in 1978. Mauricio Santos, Opus 3, number 1. Now, the last one I'm going to recommend. Now, this album is a free jazz album. And I got to tell you, some of these free jazz album works are difficult, will be difficult for people who are into traditional jazz to get into. Because a lot of times, they briefly follow a musical theme, or it seems like they're not following one at all. And it's just an album where you have a bunch of musicians just playing what they conceive fits well in terms of the vibe and groove of that particular composition of that particular song. So it sounds like you have these dudes just playing, but there's a method to the madness a lot of times, and it sounds fabulous. This album, I'll show it to you. Anthony Braxton, 5 pieces, 1975. And to the best of my knowledge, no, he's not related to the beautiful Toni Braxton. That being said, this is a promo copy of the record. And see if I can show you the label. The promotional copy of the record. And there's the first composition on here is not a free jazz piece per se, and it's called You Stepped Out of a Dream. That's more of a composed composition that the musicians on this album, and I'll tell you the musicians on this album, Anthony Braxton, alto saxophone, clarinet, soprano saxophone, flute, alto flute, contrabass, clarinet. Kenny Wheeler, trumpet, flugelhorn. Dave Holland, the great Dave Holland's on bass, and Barry Altschul, I'm probably mispronouncing his name, I'm sorry, drums. This was issued in 1975 on Arista Records. The musicians are on the back. I'll show you the gatefold. But a lot of free jazz compositions are very difficult for fans to get into. Like I said, a lot of, and I said this on other videos, think of free jazz as being like way out there and hard to get into, hard to conceptualize and get into the vibe and groove of the album. I like it. A lot of people think it's unorganized musical madness. I think it's unorganized musical pleasure, and it sounds amazing. But like I said, the song "You Stepped Out of a Dream" is the only what I call composed song on the record. The rest of them are free jazz pieces, and I would listen to the last. If I were to recommend this album, have somebody listen to it, I would recommend listening to the last cut on side 2, where Dave Holland is laying down this great bass line, and that composition sounds fabulous. The rest of them, other than the first song on side 1, which is the song "You Stepped Out of the Dream," are true free jazz pieces. And like I said, it may not be for everybody, but I definitely recommend checking out, especially if you like free jazz. He has these songs categorized as cuts on the album and not necessarily songs. I'll show you show it to you right here. That is side 1. See if I can show you side 2. Sorry it's not coming out on the video. That's side 2. But he has these categorized as cut. And as a free jazz piece, in terms of free jazz, I will listen to cut 2 on side 2. The last song on side 2. As I said, I like that heartbeat of bass line that is laid down by Dave Holland. But it's worth a listen to, it's worth a mention. If I were to rate the performance on this, I give the performance, just like the previous one, an 8, the sound an 8. The same with the Mauricio Santos record. I give the performance 8, sound an 8. They're not going to blow you away, but they're easy. Or I should say they're a pleasure to listen to, in my opinion, and worth checking out on YouTube. But please, if you're familiar with any of these records, please leave your comments in the comment section below. I really appreciate that. I hope in the future I can recommend some really nice records that some of you may not have heard before. But please leave your comments in the comment section below. Thank you very much for viewing my video. I really appreciate that. God bless, strong love, and keep the peace worldwide.